Have you ever felt a cold knot in your stomach while looking at your retirement statement? You are certainly not the only one feeling this way. For decades, we have been told a very specific story about the American dream. They tell us that $1 million is the magic number for a happy life. They say that if you do not hit that seven-figure goal, you have somehow failed. But I want you to take the reality on the ground. According to the latest data, the typical household at age 62 has a different story. They do not have $1 million in their accounts. Most households actually have between $185,000 and $200,000. That is the real number for the majority of our neighbors. Does this mean that millions of people are headed for a total disaster? The answer is no. But it does mean the old rules are completely broken. Today we are going to look at what it actually takes to retire in this economy. We are going to talk about the numbers that truly matter for your family. We will look at the traps that catch even the most careful savers. And I will show you how to find peace of mind, even if your balance is lower than you hoped. At the end of the day, retirement is not just a number on a computer screen. It is about your personal independence and your dignity. It is about making sure you are never a financial burden to your children. It is about having the freedom to live your life on your own terms. What I'm about to share could change the way you look at your future forever. Let us start with a very hard truth that many people realize far too late. Most of the wealth we think we have is actually a ghost. When people talk about their net worth, they usually count the value of their home. Maybe you bought your house many years ago for a small price. Now, that same house is worth $600,000 on the market. On paper, you feel very wealthy and secure. But here is the main problem with that line of thinking. You cannot pay your monthly electric bill with your kitchen cabinets. You cannot buy fresh groceries with the drywall in your guest room. Unless you sell that house, that wealth is effectively locked away from you. In the meantime, that house is actually a major expense every single month. You still have property taxes and insurance to pay. Maintenance only gets more expensive as the house gets older. This is what experts call the equity trap. Many people reach their 60s and find themselves house rich, but cash poor. They have $500,000 in equity, but very little in the bank. That is a very dangerous place to be when a medical bill shows up. Why did so many of us end up in this specific situation? It is not just because of inflation or the high cost of living. It is also because of the pressure to look successful today. We spend our best years upgrading cars and remodeling our kitchens. We try to keep up with a lifestyle that our parents never even imagined. But every time we buy a luxury item, we trade away a piece of our future. For many of us, this realization does not hit until we are 55 or older. Suddenly, the future feels like it is arriving much faster than we expected. If you are in that position, please listen very closely to me. It is never too late to change your path, but you must stop playing by the old rules. We need to look at the gap between your income and your spending. Let us say a typical retired household spends $4,500 a month. If your Social Security check is only $1,900, you have a problem. Where is the other $2,600 going to come from? This is where the math becomes very real and very personal. If you use a safe withdrawal rate of 3%, $200,000 is not enough. That portfolio only gives you about $500 a month. That still leaves a $2,000 hole in your budget every single month. That is the gap that keeps so many people awake at night. But there is a strategy that almost no one talks about on the news. I call this strategy the golden delay. Most people claim their Social Security as soon as they turn 62. They do this because they are tired of working, or they are afraid the money will disappear. But claiming at 62 means you lock in a lower payment forever. If you can find a way to wait until you are 67 or 70, everything changes. Your monthly check increases by about 8% for every year you wait. Where else can you get a guaranteed 8% return on your money? By waiting just a few years, you can turn a small check into a much larger one. That extra $1,000 a month covers a huge part of your monthly gap. But how do you survive those years without a regular paycheck? This is where we have to be very practical and very honest. Many successful people use what is called bridge employment. This is not about working 40 hours a week at a job you hate. It is about finding a low-stress job that covers your basic bills. Maybe you can consult in your old field or work at a local shop. This protects your savings and lets your Social Security grow. It also keeps your mind sharp and keeps you connected to your community. The biggest threat to a happy retirement is not just a lack of money. It is a lack of purpose and a lack of daily movement. When you stop moving, your body and mind start to age much faster. Think of these years as a transition into a new kind of freedom. Now, we must discuss the biggest expense of all, which is healthcare. Recent studies show that a couple will need over $300,000 for medical care. That number sounds impossible to save for most people. But you can manage this cost if you are proactive right now. Most people sign up for Medicare and think the government covers everything. They are, unfortunately, wrong about that. You must understand the difference between original Medicare and Advantage plans. You need to look at policies that protect you from huge out-of-pocket costs. One major illness should not be allowed to wipe out 30 years of work. While we are talking about protection, let us talk about your children. I know you love them more than anything else in the world. I know you want to leave them a legacy and a helping hand. But the greatest gift you can give them is your own financial independence. Your children can borrow money for a house or a new business, but you cannot borrow money to fund your retirement years. If you spend all your money helping them now, you might need their help later. For most parents, being a burden is their ultimate nightmare. Give yourself permission to put your own needs first for a while. Be very honest with your family about your financial boundaries. It is okay to say no to expensive weddings or helping with a down payment. It is better to be self-sufficient than to be a burden on their young families. As we move forward, I want to give you a new definition of wealth. True wealth is not about having $1 million in the bank. True wealth is simply having enough for your needs. It is about being safe, being healthy, and being free. If you have a home that is paid off, you are already ahead of the game. If you have a reliable check and a small savings, you are doing well. Do not let the millionaire myth steal your happiness today. Start where you are right now and make a new plan. Audit your expenses and cut out everything that does not bring you joy. Look at your housing and ask if you truly need all that space. Downsizing is not a sign of failure at all. It is a very smart move to unlock the cash you have built up. If you move to a smaller home, you can put that extra cash into your bank. Suddenly, that scary gap in your budget might disappear completely. You will have the cash you need and much lower monthly bills. That is how you win the game in the year 25. It is not about luck or hitting the lottery. It is about using logic and facing the numbers with your eyes open. Make the hard choices today so you can have an easy life tomorrow. I have seen people retire with very little and be perfectly content. I have also seen people with millions live in constant fear. The difference is always having a clear and realistic plan. So, what is your plan going to be? Are you going to keep hoping for a miracle to happen? Or are you going to take control of what you can actually change? I want you to take one very small action before this day ends. Download your bank statements from the last 3 months. Highlight every dollar that did not help your future or your health. You might be shocked at how much money is being wasted. That wasted money is actually your future freedom being thrown away. If you found this helpful, I would love to hear your story. What is the one thing about the future that worries you most? Please share your thoughts so we can all learn together. We are all facing these challenges at the same time. By sharing our wisdom, we find a better path for everyone. If you want to know how to fix your savings for this market, keep watching. There is always a way to improve your situation. Take very good care of yourself today. Remember that your best years are still ahead of you. You just need to plan for them with a clear head and a brave heart. The truth will set you free if you are willing to look at it. Do not wait for someone else to save you. You have the power to save yourself starting right now. Believe in your ability to adapt and overcome. Your independence is worth every difficult choice you make today. Keep your focus on the long-term goal of peace and security. The noise of the world will try to distract you with fear. But you know the truth about what really matters. Focus on your health, your home, and your inner peace. Those are the things that money cannot buy, but planning can protect. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I believe in you and your future success. Stay strong and stay focused on your goals. I will be here to guide you every step of the way. The journey might be long, but the destination is beautiful. Let us make the most of every single day we are given. Your future self will thank you for the work you do today. God bless you on your journey to a secure and happy life.